Who are the top utility characters here in Marvel Strike Force? I'm talking about individual characters that perform a variety of functions to help you win matchups. They may not always be the sexiest characters in the game, although some of them are, but they're definitely always effective. We're gonna be talking about that here in today's video, guys, and if you're ready for it, let's get into it right now. All right, first character I'm gonna talk about here is Kingpin. Although he's probably gonna be out of the meta soon because of the Invaders team coming into the raids, still getting a lot of value out of him right now. So until that full team is deployed, we're gonna talk about Kingpin here. Just listen, the passive ability on spawn, he's summoning the bodyguard here. They're getting taunt, and that's removing damage away from your important characters that are on your team, right? I love using them in that first node here where Loki can just target those characters. And then on top of that too, you're coming back with the ult. The ult is gonna give you offense up and defense up to all the allies that are on your team. That's definitely incredibly helpful. The special ability can summon some more bodyguards so that you can gain death proof as passive. Also give assist, right, on this character or any villain ally's turn. 50% chance to apply assist now to a random self or ally. And at the end of this character's turn, if any character has barrier, he can apply speed up and offense up to his summoned allies. I find him to be insanely helpful here in the Doom raids, and until the Invaders replaces him, just because of all the multifunction in his kit here, I definitely think that he comes in as one of the most valuable or utility characters here in Marvel Strike Force. Now, as it pertains to the next character, there's been a lot of flack thrown at this character, and rightfully so, because he did not get him right the first time. It did better on the second time. And finally, with the awakened abilities, it seems like he's going to be doing what we desire for him to do as one of those big bad characters in MSF. But definitely even now as a utility character, Apocalypse is phenomenal. On spawn, being able to clear that safeguard, gain safeguard, of course, but this here, at the start of any match, enemy characters cannot spawn with safeguard. This has been incredibly helpful against the unlimited X-Men teams in Cosmic Crucible. If you have to see Darko there, it's been helpful against that, been helpful in Alliance War. It's been very good to have this character here because safeguard was the saving grace for a lot of these players, a lot of these teams. So it's been good that we're able to negate that. His special ability, I love this one here because, of course, you know, do the following for this character and all horseman allies here, and 2 non-horseman allies with the highest damage. I'm going too fast. Clear all the negative effects, apply 1 defense up to a maximum of 2, and it applies safeguard and immunity to those characters. So that makes him plug and play because he's able to do it to 2 non-horseman allies. The immunity, the safeguard is ginormous, but really it's always the clearing all negative effects for me that I found to be insanely clutch. Then, of course, him being able to apply trauma, flipping positive effects here with his ultimate ability has definitely also been helpful too. Looking forward to him being able to do some more damage once you finally get those stars on him, but that's probably going to take some time. But in terms of utility, he's definitely proven his worth where that's concerned. Now, next on this list here, we're going to talk about Nick Fury in raids. This man is absolutely dynamic right now. Probably one of my favorite characters, favorite reworks that I've seen in MSF, apart from like Gamora. Gamora was really good, but I just like, he's not an overpowering character, but in terms of utility, wow, this has been really helpful with his kit, right? The summons are huge right now. Shield Operative is an all-star for me with the ability to reduce the speed bar of the primary target in raids. Like, screw you, Carnage, screw you, Morbius. Like, so many characters that I can probably talk about that he has essentially been able to negate. Don't really have to worry about Doom in that final node anymore, primarily because of Nick Fury. And I mean, shield security is no slouch. Definitely the stats have been boosted, so they're taking on a little bit more damage, but him being able to stun with this ultimate ability, of course they have to have slow first, but him being able to stun with the ultimate ability has also been very clutch. And then, of course, what we used to use Nick Fury for in the past with the special ability right here, where you'll be able to use the special and then give everybody, all of the allies, speed up. Well, you're now able to give a little bit more, right? The defense up for 2 turns, the death proof, spreading all positive effects to self and all allies. Now you're able to get that additional buffs there as well. So in my opinion, Nick Fury definitely one of the best utility characters. I almost clicked on that button there to bring him to 16, but he's definitely one of the best utility characters, has been before, but now with the improved stats for himself, improved stats for his minions, the kit change, definitely a stalwart character in my opinion, and also the assist too. I forgot that he can do that as well. All right, next character on this list here also has taken a little bit of hit since Apocalypse, but in other game modes she still provides value, right? If you're looking at Alliance War, if you're looking at Cosmic Crucible, Emma Frost is still standing the test of time. Now her stats not the greatest anymore, right? The 606 health is not going to do much. Even when she's in diamond form, she still gets clapped. But this unspawn here, apply negative 10% speed to all enemies, has still become valuable in Cosmic Crucible, will become valuable here in Alliance War. And I've always liked the rest of her kit too, being able to clear all positive effects with her ultimate ability and applying blind to the primary target, allowing them to take on some damage. This is also unavoidable too, so that's always been great for being able to clear all negative effects from your team. All allies that are on your team has also been a big use as well. So Emma Frost, although still not necessarily like a top tier meta character because of that passive, because of the other things that she can do here in her kit, she still has been providing value in my opinion. Just that arena, because of Apocalypse, she has not really been useful in that game mode, but everywhere else where you can use her, definitely she will provide some value there. Gotta get a sip of water soon. But the next character on this list I want to talk about is Psylocke. Let me grab a sip. And the reason why I want to talk about Psylocke here, although outside of her team, not great, but I think she's like an unsung hero in my opinion. I don't think she gets enough credit for what she does on her raid team and with the Dead Sea team. I think people are just like, oh my god, she sucks, and I just don't feel that way. Like, her passive is the reason why that team is able to survive in the first place, right? Gaining evade, counter, and deflect, and then giving them evade, counter, and deflect. Whenever they drop below 50%, she's applying evade and counter to her entire team. That's huge. You know, in my opinion, her being able to clear all negative effects and then transferring 2 of them over to a primary target and then reducing the speed bar by 20%. How can that not be huge? Her also being able to clear, you know, positive effects from each target that she hits as well on the enemy team, and then being able to apply bleed has always been, I just always found this to be valuable in my opinion. So from a utility perspective, everything that she does in her kit is with the purpose, right? The passive, keeping the Dead Sea team alive, making sure that they can not only evade but then also counter and do additional damage to the enemy characters whenever they take an action, being able to clear negative effects. She's slow though, I will say, but that's kind of worked in your favor sometimes, being able to clear those negative effects off of your team, being able to then clear positive effects off multiple characters, 3 of them off multiple characters on the enemy team. This is even useful outside of raids as well. I find it to be useful in the matchups that I use for the Dead Sea team against Young Avengers in Alliance War. Psylocke is a good character, guys. Stop. For those who are saying that she's not great, she's phenomenal in my opinion. All right, listen. Next on this list here is Hela, and Hela was primarily about Greg the summon, but it also is a lot of other things too that you can get from her kit. Now she's taking a hit as well because of the arena meta right now, but I gotta say, because of Cosmic Crucible, because of that Tangled Web Eternals team right now in room 5, her value definitely has risen in that perspective, and they're also still a stalwart war offense team too. Would love to see her get a little bit more acclimated, I guess, into the game now that she's not a part of the arena. But because you do Cosmic Crucible so many times per week and you do Alliance War, I think that she still holds her value here. But Greg, whenever he dies, of course, you know, being able to reduce the speed bar of the enemy characters by 10%, or the speed for all enemy characters by 10%, and Alliance War being able to do his ult and then clearing the revive ones off enemy characters as long as he has zombie Iron Man there, being able to do additional damage. Hela herself, one of the few characters, I think it's like 2 characters that can actually spread ability block, attack the primary, all the enemies for 350%, spread 4 negative effects on the primary target to all secondary targets. One of the very few characters that can actually spread ability block here. I think it's like 2 characters that can spread ability block to multiple characters. I think there's still a valuable kit here. Disrupt on her special, being able to clear death proof on her basic, being able to, if they die from her basic attack and her ultimate attack, if a character has revived once, then they can't revive if she kills them with either one of those attacks. Still a valuable threat in my opinion. And in terms of utility, just because of Greg, that gives her a little bit more added value if you ask me. Next character on this list here, I love him, Captain America. One of the best takes in the game. One of the best takes in the game. Passive ability. Listen, everybody's gonna get deflect, right? Everybody that's on this team is getting deflect. Ultimate ability, he's clearing 3 positive effects, and then also getting speed up on top of that as well. But clearing 3 positive effects with his ultimate ability on not just the primary target, but then also the additional chain targets as well is what you're getting from Cap. You're also going to be able to get an immunity he's going to give immunity, going to give defense up to every single ally. This man is not selfish by just giving things to his Rebirth team. He's giving it to every character on the team. You can clear all negative effects from himself and clear him from Rebirth. Not doing it for the rest of the characters there, but you're also able to get ability energy too. If you're just there with him, you have a chance to be able to get ability energy as well. I just think that he's really solid as a tank in the game. I loved using him in Dark Dimension 5. Let me know if you guys want to see me do some footage here with Cap and Nemesis and Dark Beast and those characters in Dark Dimension 5. Spider Weaver. It's actually a really, really, really fun team. Would love to be able to showcase that someday. But yeah, I mean, Captain America definitely shows up as a good utility character here. All right, next on this list here is Shang-Chi, right? So Shang-Chi is an insane amount of damage. Now he's gonna be falling out of the meta soon because of the full Invaders team. But man, I mean, this ultimate ability, damage on damage today, by the way, using them with Captain America World War II, Fury, oh my God, Captain Sam, Kestrel. This man ulted 3 times in that boss node. Boy, was that fun to watch. He was a one-man wrecking ball, in that node. But 450 damage plus 75% additional damage per positive effect from the primary target, reducing the speed bar by 10%. That definitely does come in helpful, especially when you team that up with Shield Operative and her 25% speed bar reduction as well. Special provides really good utility too. Actually, this has been clutch for me, and pretty much basically all 3 nodes that I use him in, being able to clear 1 negative effect from all his allies, but then also being able to give 10% healing has also been pretty good too. It's also filling his speed bar so that he's able to get to more turns, which is part of what contributed to him being able to actually ult 3 times in that boss node matchup. The slow from his basic too, if he gains additional crit chance based on the amount of positive effects on the enemy character. If he has the flex, his higher crit chance. Little different things like this just make Shang-Chi a massively, massively good character here to use. And I enjoy using him right now in these skill doom raids. He's just packs a massive punch here on offense. All right, and then next character, I wanted to talk a little bit here about Rogue. I feel like we talk about the Horseman characters a lot, but I don't feel like Rogue gets a lot of flowers. So I wanted to give a little bit of a highlight here to Rogue. Like, Rogue is a phenomenal utility kit, really, right? I mean, in terms of like her special, being able to apply all the negative effects in the world, but trauma, so ability block is obviously the big one. Disrupted is big too. Offense down, defense down. I mean, literally kind of negates a character, what they're able to do here, right? If you can strip off that immunity on Apocalypse and then apply that ability block with Rogue, use your Rogue to apply ability block, trauma, everything like that to Apocalypse, I mean, that matchup is pretty much over at that point in time here, although you probably want to do it with some other characters, but it's been fun to do that. The stun here on the ultimate ability, clearing the positive effects too on the primary target. Both of her abilities, right, are unavoidable. Like this, her special is unavoidable, her ultimate ability is unavoidable. She does a lot of really good things here. So I wanted to kind of highlight her kit because it's not just what she does in Cosmic Crucible, it's what she can do as a plug and play character outside of that as well. And I don't think that she really gets as much clout and value as she probably could, because a lot of people talk about Red Holt, they talk about Morgan Le Fay, they talk about even Archangel because of raids, but really Rogue, even before I got Archangel, was a pretty good plug and play character for that Dead Sea team in those raids too. So Rogue, and of course part of the arena meta, like really a scary character in arena too. If you're facing her on defense, you always got to make sure and account for her. So Yes, Rogue, very good utility character in my opinion. And then last character we're going to talk about here is going to be Spider Weaver. So Spider Weaver, yes, not so much heavy in your arena meta anymore, unfortunately, but she's still very good in Cosmic Crucible. She's still very good in Alliance War. She's still going to be great in Dark Dimension. She's still going to provide you with value if there's a pocket dimension and she can be used there, or if more so Avengers Tower and you can use her there. She's going to provide you with an insane amount of value. The stun and the charges that she gets is big because obviously, of course, she's reducing the speed bar, reducing the accuracy of the enemy characters by 100% to all enemies there. So that's huge, that you can't get hit. You know, at that point in time, the stun and the trauma here with her ultimate ability, her special, which can also give positive effects to other allies. So she gains defense up, she gains offense up, but then she can also transfer these positive effects to two random allies that are not Tangled Web allies, but of course she will transfer them all to Tangled Web allies too. Her basic does additional damage based on her health, and then of course, you know, if she kills anybody with any of her attacks, they cannot revive if they have revive ones on them too. So a lot of really good things here that you can get from Spider Weaver. I love the character. I'm sad that she's no longer necessarily insanely meta in arena, but she's definitely good in other areas. I just wish that we weren't really kind of forced to use her on defense, although I don't, but I wish that it wasn't even a conversation as to whether or not I wanted to use Weaver on defense. It would be more, hey man, I'm definitely using her on offense. But those are my thoughts here today, guys. What do you think? Who do you think are the top utility characters here in Marvel Strike Force? Leave it in the comments. What do you think about my list? Leave that in the comments as well, guys. Also, check out some other videos here on the channel. Hit the notification bell, or like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Hit the notification bell so that you know when the videos do go live. Check out our links here down below in the description to our social media, Discord, all that Twitch, all that stuff that's down there. Check out my other YouTube channel where I do cover DC comic stuff as well, guys. But until next time, Marvel and DC comics, I should say. But until next time, guys, y'all be blessed. Y'all be safe.